Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. And we're having coffee in my more or love more mug because this is a theme. It's February. But truly, the theme for the reading today is all this fear that is being propagated out into the world right now. It's been going on for a while, but it's on warp speed right now. The people posting out how fearful they are about everything that's going on, and which, there are things for us to be fearful about, especially in our physical. Fear is a great motivator to move when things are dangerous around us. But the fear that is being propagated, has been propagated, is used now to manipulate us in huge ways. And I posted a thing, and two very wise friends posted some alternative thoughts about it, which is always lovely. Because do I have the definitive last word on everything out there in the world? Not so much. I get a lot through, I receive a lot of wise guidance, and I'm a warrior. And so I can be somewhat one-sided in my stance at times. But I'm also here to hold people into their own self accountability, because that is where it all begins. And if something is moving you into fear on a regular basis and keeping you in upheaval inside, like the news on either side right now, mainstream media is propagating lots because of the election results and what's going on. Before that, and right wing media is as well, just not in the same way it was before the election. They were the ones propagating more fear about what was to happen as our country moves forward in the way it's been. It doesn't matter which side you're listening to, it is within you that you want to monitor, take care of, and make the changes. The post I posted after seeing a couple people who were in great upheaval was whatever, fear, the acronym that goes around is false evidence appearing real. If what is coming across your screen has really nothing to do with your immediate life right now, that doesn't mean you don't care. It means fear, in our physical world, is to alert us of a danger right in front of us so we can run, or we can freeze as we need to freeze so we're not visible. The fear that's being propagated now, and has been for quite some time, has nothing to do with us most of the time, with our actual selves and lives. Yes, we are part of the collective. Yes, we do feel and we care. But when it puts you in this state of high anxiety and immobility, it's not for you. It is for manipulating you. So you want to pull away from those things and get back to your center, what it is you're doing in this world, what it is you came to do. And right now, the guidance we're receiving is yang, which is basically non-action. We are to go inward, receive, take some deep breaths, be, not do. And so that is the theme for this reading about fear and all that's coming into the world. I have a presentation I'm doing today, and it's a once a month thing. It's my Wowie meeting, and it's not my wow. Well, it's mine because I'm a Wowie woman. The woman who leads it has some health challenges and asked if I would do it today. And of course, this is February, and this lovely woman who usually leads it always has some things for us and some, paper to fill out and all that. So I've been working on that. And the truth is, we want to be more love in the world. That's the most powerful way we can move through the world. But, that biblical charge, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, who of us has been taught to love ourselves? More the opposite. We have been taught throughout our life. Don't think you're anything special. That's boastful. You don't tell people what you do well. You don't tell people what you're good at. That's just weird. And people that are somewhat, ooh, my contact wants to fold. I've got to change contacts. People who are a bit on the spectrum, a little bit, higher on the spectrum, very bluntly will tell you how good they are at something. And people are taken aback by that because they don't have the filter, that social awareness of something. And we want to be more like that, not out of ego and look who I am, in the ownership of all the gifts that we came to bring in this lifetime. We are taught not to be elevating ourselves. Why not? Why don't we connect with the creator God, the universe, the central sun, the great I am, Henry up there, whatever you call it? Why not elevate ourselves into the truth of who we are? That's not any better than anyone else. If you are in judgment about why you're elevating yourself and owning your gifts and feeling good about you to make yourself feel better than somebody else, you're usually in a place of judgment. And that is never a divine way to move through our energy. When you own, because of who you came to be in this lifetime, the things that you are good at, the way you navigate this world that is helpful to others, that can elevate others, that is always what divine power wants. Divine power wants everyone else to stand in their divine power as well, because it is never ego driven. It doesn't rub up against someone else's divine power. If you're rubbing up against someone else's, there's an ego involved that is trying to separate or has a pattern we have learned to separate. So, yang, just be right now. Don't be reactive. Don't be in action to a great degree. Go inward, work with your angels, guides, companions. I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready. Guide me. The how of what is unfolding in this world isn't our business. And the truth is, if what is making you fearful really has no impact on your everyday, right now, present life, you don't want to entertain it and bring it into your field because there's nothing you can do about it. And 99.9% of what the media is putting out, there's nothing I can do about it. I can choose to shed love there and peace and comfort and healing, but I can't change it. But what the media wants is me to be in upheaval and angst and fear so they can manipulate you and that, or manipulate me, manipulate us. And that is the point of all this fear. So let's see what else the angels, guides, companions, your power team, creator of the universe want us to know today. The next one is between worlds. We are between worlds right now. The old way of being on this planet is falling away. And I really do have to get my new contacts out because these are folding. We want to understand that we are shifting into the fifth dimension, to a new way of living on this planet, but we're still third dimensional beings trying to navigate between both of them. And it's not real comfortable. We know what we desire and we can focus on that, because as we focus on what we desire this world to be, then we create more of that in the world. When we focus on elevating our vibration, our love, our gratitude, that's our focus, then you can use these news stories to expand what you have to be grateful for. Good morning, Kim. What we have to be grateful for. And it is important that we remain focused on all that we have been given and send out the love that can propagate in us, because that is power. That is where the actual shift lies. That is where we can have effect on what is taking place. Some of you might remember, it's been a few months ago, it was before the election, so right before, I think, that the skies here were just outrageous. And that morning I saw this white cloud. Good morning, Jean. And I think I said, good morning, Kim. Um, I saw that white cloud out in the midst of all these dark layers with all of clouds with all these misty edges with very dark skies behind that. This rainbow that was in the white cloud was vertical and it was red, green, and blue. And I stood there watching it, wishing I'd had my camera because, and I was sure this one man in town who's always taking pictures would catch that, but I saw no other picture of it. And I didn't want to miss it because we know what happens is rainbows fade away. As I stood there watching it, it got bigger and more intense, came forward, and then it started moving back. And as it moved back, red and blue came together. And that was the message, which was both sides have valid points and things that we get to move forward with. We want to move away from separation. The media does not want us to move away from separation and division and angst and blame. They want us to stay there because we're easily manipulated that way. When we choose to go inward, be yang, propagate and bring more love energy into the world, more gratitude into the world, because we're carrying that vibration within us and intending it to go out, then we are in our divine power. We are where we are supposed to be. That is the key, not allowing ourselves to be separated. The next card coming up this morning is go the distance. You know, again, this isn't a one and done thing. This whole shift is not happening just like that. It's going to take years. We're going to see a lot of really big changes throughout this year, this very fast year. And one of the reasons I'm holding this class on suicide on Thursday is because many people are feeling the need to run, and they came into this world to be a thing during this shift. Many people chose not to stay for this and are choosing, but there is an epidemic of suicide. My desire and my guidance as I channeled this class is to give you all a set of tools to work through your energies, to release, to allow them to move out of you so that you are in clear, good mind and balance. And then if you know that your path is not here, then you're going to do what you're going to do. We all came in with a plan. My understanding about suicide is that if we jump out of this lifetime because it's just too much, we are going to come back into the same kind of energy in another lifetime because we are the ones that chose what we wanted to learn and experience. So giving people the tools to be able to stay the course, go the distance, endure, move out of these energies, work through the things that you wanted to learn, because that's where the challenges lie, in what we wanted to learn. I know this energy of suicide. I have considered it so many times in my life. I have never actively tried it, but I have wanted to many times because instinctively my soul knows it is all easier not being a human. But I chose to come in and help us work through this, as I believe all of you did, and to be this beautiful energy in the world, creating softer edges on the clouds, the storm that is coming. So it is less sharp edged and impactful. It is more gentle. So the next card through is mending. And this is really post is about good morning, dear. I love my American friends. I chose to put out love for all, one small world. We really are all in this together. We are. And people that have differing views than us have differing life experiences that produce those views. Even if they're spewing them at you, it is in their pain and fear that they have to get that out. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but my mind has never been changed by anything on social media, by people yelling out their beliefs and attacking other people. That has never changed my mind. So you having to vomit your belief systems on other people isn't about changing them. It's about relieving yourself. And so it's one of those, if you are overwhelmed and feeling like you need to blurt out everything you're feeling, blurt it out on paper, write it out, mandala it out. That's one of the tools that I'm bringing through to this class, because I have been learning so much about this mandala production. And it is a huge tool in the universe available to all of us now, and simple, easy, no artistry needed. Okay, the next card come out is exchange gifts. Put your gifts out there. Find a circle, and you don't have to be a grandmother to join grandmothersglobalcouncil.org. That is a site where it's, we have a 55,000 group on Facebook, and you can never see your posts. If you ever see them again, it's 3 or 4 days later. Maybe it's been shown, especially if it's lovely and warm and gentle, it's been shown to 2 or 3 people. If it's hateful and angry, which some of them are, if they're not attacking anybody, their opinion is allowed. And those are shown to thousands. So you know what Facebook wants. We move Grandmothers Global Council to a platform where we can have discourse, different categories. We can find things, we can post things and find them again. And we have ownership over that, not Facebook. And so it is a huge way to come in and exchange gifts, and allow us to see one of the most magical things that is happening. Our people are coming into our lives to help us expand when we're in that place of open, willing, ready. And it is so fun to have these spirits come through our lives that we get to help, that we can help grow, that we get to expand one another. And they're introducing us to other magical spirits in this world, all working to do the same thing. I believe anybody watching this page or sharing these videos are the magical spirits that are looking for a way to expand and grow and become. And so exchange your gifts. What do what? And I can hear some of you already saying, I don't really have anything to offer. This is really what held me back for several years. It's like I look at other people and go, I'm not anything special. I'm not enough. I don't, and that not enough thing is being propagated again on so many levels. And women specifically were encoded with the not enough gene code to keep us contained. It is time to own that we are enough. And the last card this morning is imagine. Look at that beautiful card. Imagine. That is where our power is, in our minds, to create more of what we want in front of us, so that we can move through this world in that creative, propagating others to be in their higher vibration, expanding their gifts, their abilities, and moving away from this fear energy. And many of us have lots of reasons that we can be fearful. Some of us have worked through it. Some of us have spent years working through it. And, it went in layers, and probably layers in lifetimes and in ancestors that we came to clear. That is one of the ways I help people, besides classes and retreats. And if you haven't looked at my retreat and you're ready to expand, I encourage you to. And immediately a couple of blocks will come up for you, and I want you to look at them like a card and go, okay, I'm going to put you over here right now, and I'm going to entertain this idea, because this retreat more keeps coming through, and it's 7 days already, and it's a lot, and we need to give time in between things we bring into the group to give you time to go inward with it and ruminate on it and move it into yourself. And so it could be overwhelming, but at any rate, if you're ready to expand and you've been wanting to consider it, move away the blocks and go, what if? Imagine. And that's not just about the retreat. That's just a pictorial. Imagine what life could be like if it was what you would like to see in this world. The more you imagine that and hold that in your field, the more of that we are creating. And the more ease you will create in your life as you hold that in your field, because you're going to bring to you the tools. So I'm going to give you just a real short, I think I talked about a little bit that I injured my hip on Monday and or Saturday, actually, stretching and not stretching hard. And it hurt. And when I stepped, it was like, oh my God, this is the same injury I had dancing 12 years ago. And I'd been dancing quite vigorously, was very glad that I was not at the moment that my hip went pop, hurt, and was unstable. The time I had no insurance and I couldn't afford to go get a CT. I knew I hadn't broken my hip and I knew it was soft tissue. And so weeks, in the healing process. So when I did this thought came immediately. I wonder if what happened 12 years ago just shifted back. I really had no pain or issue in that hip, but always tight and always not really able to do a stretch. And in one of the stretch things I would do, I'd feel the pull on my inner knee on that leg. And it was just like, well, that's just weird. Long story short, my husband, who is the most concrete, not woo-woo guy I know, said to me at one point on Saturday when I came through the living room, I wonder if it's moving back to where it was supposed to be before you injured it. I was like, that's what I thought. But I thought, that's just Pollyanna speaking. Well, my husband is not Pollyanna. And so I entertained that thought. And then I realized I put my hands back, and on both sides of my low back of my spine has always been for, many, many, many years, very bitey, just to touch on either side of my spine. And it's not now. And my neck pain and the numbness that was going down my arm is also not happening. I mean, I'm doing the neck exercises going, geez Louise, none of this hurts. And I mean, it's been hurting constantly for months. And I started the ketovore, we call it carnivore diet. It's a little more on the keto side than just carnivore, but and I was already in 90% less pain. But I truly believe, and I've been asking for that for years, and it was a process of unfolding of things to come to me. I was told about carnivore before, and it was just like, nah, I can't do that. I just, but I kept asking for greater comfort in this body. Finally decided that I had to make a big change in January, because I know for me that just doing the little changes is not how I roll. I have to really get very strict in what I'm doing in order to get done what I need to do. And so I went, well, I do love meat. I mean, my body, O negative blood type, needs animal protein. And so I went strict carnivore for a few weeks and have added in more fat over the last couple weeks. But it was just incredible. It was just like, I can hardly believe how good this body feels, from pain from the base of my neck to the bottom of my feet. And so when you ask and when you focus on what you desire, the universe will conspire to bring to you the things that are going to help you in that process. And so this suicide class, I've created a 4-tier pricing, starts tomorrow night. And 4-tiered means that everybody can afford this. But there does need to be an exchange of energy, which is all money is. If you've been interested in it, sign up. It's going to give you other tools that are going to help you move through the energies that are holding you back. So I think we are complete for this beautiful Wednesday. I thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.